Hello. Woo. Oh my goodness. What's up? Hi, welcome to Fiber Love Diary. I'm Trish if we haven't met, and if we have met, welcome back. This is the channel where I document my fiber journey. Sometimes it's knitting, spinning, weaving, dyeing. I'm gonna have felting coming this summer, just one project. What else do I do? Prepping fiber all the way from raw through finished objects sometimes. So you just might see a whole lot of everything. I haven't been missing the last 2 weeks. If you go to the lives, you've seen me. But I have been, I have not put out any new videos here on YouTube. I am honestly overwhelmed at this moment with the amount of yard work that is on my plate for the most part. But also, if you already know me, you know we have a pool that we need to get online for the summer. You know, we have a cabana that I need to get cleaned out, which I still haven't taken care of. And we have 3.7 acres of mostly woods, but we have a lot of landscaping. I got my garden in, and it's a decent sized garden. So there's a lot on my plate right now. I feel overwhelmed. And with the landscaping over the past, some of it since we moved here, but some of it just the past few years, I've kind of let it slide a bit. It feels overwhelming to me, and because of that, this year I'm trying to get it back on track, because if you've ever done that, you know that once you let it slide, it gets harder and harder to get back on track. So I'm trying to get it back on track this year so that from now on it can just be maintenance. And it's a lot. It feels overwhelming, and John is so busy. He doesn't have time for that right now, which I totally get. And that is kind of part of the way that we divide work anyways, because he works so much for his job. His business is very busy right now, his like side business, and he just doesn't have time. Anyway, I've been feeling overwhelmed, and it was making me feel burnt out. So I decided I'm just gonna take a couple weeks and not put out a new video, and use that time to devote to either like de-stressing or making some progress on this this landscaping stuff. So I can't even show you my whole yard because there's so much stuff that, I mean, I could show you, but there's so much stuff that is still not under control enough that I don't feel embarrassed about it, and it is totally my fault. I just let it go. You know, it's my fault. I can't say anything else. Also, last week I had a job interview. They asked me to come back for a second interview, and for now I decided that I'm not quite ready to, I guess, give up my channel and go back to work full-time. And I haven't been able to find anything part-time that is, you know, suitable for like my skills and that kind of thing. Most people want me to work full-time. So I did cancel my second interview. I'm really just not sure what I'm supposed to be doing right now, you guys. And I know I'm not the only person who's ever felt that way. For now, I know I need to be weeding. And also, I don't know, I could give you excuses of why I let that stuff go to pot, but the truth is you don't really care, right? I mean, you are gonna love me anyway, just like I would love you anyway if you had done this. And right now, all I can say is I'm trying to fix it and make it better and do better. I did get my garden fully planted yesterday. I was only gonna plant my seeds because I thought, well, that's a good like thing to get completely done and feel like you made progress. But I got out there, I got working. It wasn't so hot that I was miserable, and so I was like, I'm just gonna get this done. There's still stuff that needs to be done, but it's planted. It's tomatoes, eggplant, squash, I can't remember what's after that, peppers, I guess, probably, and then seeds all the way down at the end. And these right here are for cucumbers and beans and peas to climb on, these tomato cages, and then these are all tomatoes. There is still stuff that needs to get done. We put up a deer fence around it and, like, you know, mulch, all that kind of stuff, but it's all in, and I feel a lot better about that part at least. I started most of my plants for my garden from seed, and then I bought some from our local nursery. I had a few things that just didn't do well from seed. I'm learning about that process. I've only tried that really once before and didn't have much success the first time. This time I had great success with my peppers and my tomatoes, not much success with a few other things, and I'm growing lettuce in the house. So I think growing things has been really, really good for me this year. It feels good, and you know, back when I was married the first time, we had a yard that was sunny and I had a beautiful garden. It had vegetables. I had a really nice perennial garden, and I loved doing that. But then we moved someplace where the yard was very small, the soil was poor, and then to a place where we couldn't grow anything because it was so shady, except hostas and ferns. I kind of got out of the mindset, I guess. And so I'm getting, I think, back into it now. And I think the empty nest has something to do with it. I think it's like a nurturing thing that I get to do. I don't know. Also, over like spring, as you guys know, I participated in Sock Madness. Most of you know anyway. So I was out in round 5. I'll tell you the story. I'm gonna go through the socks. Some of them were in a finished project video before. I probably shouldn't have put them in because they're gonna be repeats, but there's warm-ups at the beginning, and then you do a qualifier round, and that's how you get placed on a team. And then after that you go rounds 1 through I think it's 7, and they just finished round 6. I don't think 7 started. Did it? I don't know. I don't think it did, because I think I would have gotten the pattern in my email even though I'm out now. If you are seeing a repeat, I apologize, but it makes sense in the context. I feel like they all need to be together. I always do a recap video for these competitions. I just scared the life out of Luther pulling the sock blocker out. The warm-up that I did was solar flares, and that's why I'm sure some of you guys have seen these maybe even twice, because I also did a video about the way that I knit color work. It is, I mean, it's definitely not unique, but it's kind of unusual. So these were knit toe up with like a gusset and a fleagle heel. They are so pretty though, aren't they? This rainbow yarn is from CJ Knit. I don't remember the colorway. And then the rest is like leftovers. The black is just knit pixtrol. So these are solar flares, and they turned out really big. I mean, this heel goes way up here. So I don't know who's gonna get them, but I do know some people with bigger feet that will want them. P.S. I probably won't keep any of these, just so you know. So those are the warm-up, and the way it works is they release a couple warm-ups. I think it's 2 warm-up patterns, just to get people talking, get people chattering, all that stuff in the group. Then you knit the qualifier after that. I don't know if I can even get these on this walker. They're so small. Oh, I can. Oops, sorry babes. So this one, I'm gonna have to put the name up on the screen because I don't remember the name for these. They have slip stitches on the top. I've knit a lot of slip stitch patterns. I used to test knit for a sock designer named Michelle Leanne Martin, and she has a lot of them. I really like the pattern. Not sure I'm in love with the colorway. It's okay, but I mean, you know, that's always one of those things where someone will love it even if you don't. These did not qualify because they said I missed some slip stitches, I think it was. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I decided when these did not qualify, I was like, okay, so what am I gonna do? Am I gonna fix them? I could have duplicate stitched over what she was talking about, but to me, that isn't really fixing it. It's more like just painting over it, if that makes sense. So I knit a new pair of these to qualify. I decided at that point in time, I really thought about it. I was like, okay, do I even want to do that, especially when I don't think I made the mistake that they're saying I made? I found them. Oh my gosh. I was a little bit freaked out because I couldn't find them in my studio. Okay, these are the replacements for when I redid the qualifiers. They're two different sizes. I'll show you. So I posted a picture while I was knitting them because I thought they were turning out so cool. That was another reason why I was like, I don't think I mind knitting another pair of qualifiers, because as I went through the pattern, I felt like I could have picked colors I would like better. So let me show you. So I picked these. I posted a picture of them because I thought they were turning out so cool, and I actually don't post a ton of pictures of my work on my personal Facebook. I dyed the colored yarn probably 4 or 5 years ago, and the rest is just also the black from Knit Picks, the same stroll. They just are turning out so cool, and I posted a picture, and our daughter-in-law was like, oh. And so last year I gave her the qualifiers last year because they didn't fit me and they fit her fine, and she likes them. And so she really liked these. So I was like, okay, they can be for you. And the pattern has 2 different toes because it's kind of like one of those things where you need to, Luther's gonna eat. Of course he decides to eat now. It's kind of like one of those things where you need your pattern to end in a certain point. So it either has to end in the middle of one of these diamonds or at the end. So I actually knit one of both, and that is legal and within the, seriously, that is legal and within the rules. So she can try them on, and whichever one fits her better, I will go back, pull back the toe and re-knit to make them match for her. So I am loving how these turned out though. Aren't these so cute? That's the qualifier. So my second pair passed, and then also they gave me a prize for knitting 2 pairs of qualifiers. I did not claim my prize. I think I was a little bitter about not believing that I made the mistake on the first pair and having to knit a second pair, even though I didn't really have to. I could have just said forget it. Sock injustice. After you pass through the qualifier, they put you on a team, which isn't really a team because you're not playing together, you're playing against each other. It's more like a bracket in basketball. So you're playing against the people in your bracket and trying to whittle it down. So the first round was, I love these. I might keep these, I don't know, we'll see. I think it's partly the color that makes me love these. These are actually knit with Knit Picks Hawthorne, and they were a record for me, I thought. So I thought that I had finished these in 15 hours, and I was like really, really proud of myself. They have some beads at the top in the like vine. It's the Latin name for, I think, morning glory it was. I'll put it again on the screen. Then what happened was, what they do in Sock Madness, some of the time, it's not on every pair, they make you put a counting thread in. Every 5 rows you flip it inside and outside. It makes it easier for the judges to make sure that you did the required number of rows. So it's the craziest thing. I knit the medium, is that right? No, I think I knit the small. And then the number of rows for the foot on the medium is actually less. And so I, for whatever reason, knitting the small, I looked at the smallest number of foot rows and I thought that that was the number I was supposed to knit. So I knit the wrong number of rows. I had to rip them back, re-knit the toes, then submit my pictures in the car on the way to John's mom's memorial service or celebration of life. These were submitted, fixed in the car, and they're really, really just so pretty. I love them. It turned out that my record 15 hours was not accurate because I didn't get them right and I had to go back and fix them. So these were next. It's kind of like a plaid pattern, but you use double knitting to knit the pocket, and we did have to like take pictures of them inside out to prove that we did double knitting to knit the pocket, which is not a problem. I've double knit before. I haven't done it in a while, so I had to get my rhythm back, but that's not, you know, terribly difficult. So here is what the sock looks like. It's in 3 colors, but there's never more than 2 colors in the same row. So you don't have to hold 3 colors, but you do get kind of like wound up with your yarns, and trying to manage the yarns was like a little bit of a challenge, but I still love these. And you had to take a picture with something in the pocket, you can see, and like because you knit them double knit, the inside of the pocket is all the colors that aren't carried in the front or knit in the front. So the inside of the pocket is all like, hang on, I'll show you. It looks like I wove my ends in on this already, which, oh no, I didn't. So this is the inside of the pocket where the other yarns are knit across the back. I was trying to do something that would make sense, you know, where the colors crossed, like where the red and the gray crossed, it would make the darker red, but I think I might have picked the wrong, I was gonna say I think I might have picked the wrong placement of the three colors, but now that I think about it, I'm not sure it would have mattered anyway. Next, I believe, is this pair. Oh, I still have my counting thread in. I'll show you what that looks like. Called Cabley Wabley. It has some different construction. I'll take you through really fast. It's not a hard sock to knit at all. I think, yes, we knit these toe up. So, I can't even remember. I think it was Judy's Magic cast on. So you knit all the way up to here, your gusset, where your gusset basically ends, and then you come up at this heel flap and you knit it up and down instead of back and forth. That was really not hard at all. Then you come through and you pick up stitches at the top of this and you continue to knit around, okay? And then when you come to here, when you come to the top, you start knitting this way again, and you just attach it kind of like as you go. So this is my counting thread. You had to have a certain number of, I think in this one it was 6 stitches per flip. I can't remember for sure. So then when you're done with that, all you do is take your counting thread and just pull it out. So, but that's what it's for. You can see it in some of the pictures. And also there is kind of a, see that? Like a lump here. They had you graft it in pattern. They didn't call it that, but really that is what you're doing. So you're grafting in pattern. I can't remember what they called it in the pattern, but it sounded a lot more difficult than it really is. Whatever, but when you wear them and they get pulled around your leg, they look normal, just like everything else. I think these are also Knit Picks Hawthorne. I'm not even sure what this yarn was. The next, I don't remember the name of these at all, and they turned out enormous. Look how big these are. I enjoy a lace sock, but don't do them very often, and I'm not really sure why. I guess I don't really love the way they fit. But this one also had bobbles on it. See this right here? These are, I think they were a 9-stitch bobble. Someone can correct me if I didn't get that right. It's been a while now. It's been probably like 6 weeks since I knit these. But I mean, you can see how huge they are. They're tall. They took a lot of yarn. I hardly had any left. But it's not a hard pattern. It looks, when you look at it, like, whoa, that'd be really hard. Get a chart. If you ever want to knit lace, get a chart keeper or even a cookie sheet with a like magnet strip and just move it up one row at a time and you'll be fine. If you're going to do lace, this is a tip. And you're going to use a chart keeper, do not put your magnet under the row you're working on, put it over the row you're working on, because being able to see what was supposed to be happening the rows below is very helpful to make sure that you're lined up properly as you go through your lace pattern. I do love these, and they turned out, I mean, this yarn is so, isn't this so pretty? But I wish I had used a solid, because I saw a lot of people who use solids and you could see the lace pattern so much better, and you're kind of missing out if you're losing that lace pattern. So I definitely wish I had used a solid, but you know, it is what it is. I could always come back and knit it again later. These, I believe, are gonna go to Martha. She's a friend who got a couple pairs from last year and really appreciates them. Like, she tells me she wore her princess socks, and I love that. So I think she's getting these. And last, so now you can see what kicked me out. It's my own, I'm the one that kicked me out, really. So this one was called Unbearably Adorable. And if you've ever seen the Fox Paws scarves and shawls, which a lot of us have, you may know that those are knit with stacked stitches. So what that really means is that you take one stitch and you make it into a whole bunch of stitches that goes, like if this is your one stitch you're starting with, it makes it into a whole kind of clover, three-leafed clover of stitches in this case. And then you knit around it and then you reduce it back down to the same number of stitches again. So you make this pattern, I'll show you. I mean, there's more than one pattern you can make with that technique, but in this case, this is the pattern that it makes. So basically, like right here, you're knitting one row that goes all the way up into, well, I guess it might be 2 rows, but still it makes all these stitches that go into here. Then you knit a couple of rows of the ruffly blue color and then you reduce them all again. You start reducing on the second blue row, I think, and then you reduce them all again. So it's really complicated. You're kind of, a little bit of sawdust on my sock. You're kind of, not bending your needle, but you're putting a lot of pressure on the tip of your needle at times, especially when you are increasing all those stitches from one, because you're basically making it into this thing of stitches that goes like a rainbow sort of around the original stitch. So that causes a lot of pressure, but also when you are trying to decrease like a whole bunch at once, that causes a lot of pressure on your needle sometimes. It's not hard to do, honestly. I hesitate to say that. So I'm gonna tell you also, this little heart was knitted in and then you come back and embroider the opposite color. The little heart thing, I'll be using that again. They are so cute. So let me tell you how these knocked me out. Not that it's not anyone's fault but my own. I came up to here. These are also knit to toe up, sorry. I came up to here and this is where they call the heel flap right here, which it is a heel flap. I'm not saying that they were wrong. This was supposed to have slip stitches. And so it would have created ridges. I don't know if it will come in close. It would have created the little ridges like you see here. See these? A lot of people who knit socks do these on the back of the heel because it makes that area a little stronger. Stronger is not the right word. A little more durable, let's say it that way. So this whole thing underneath your foot should have been slip stitches. I did not catch that. In the pattern, I looked twice at what the stitches were and I still read it wrong. My fault completely. And I missed that we were supposed to slip the stitches underneath the foot. So they told me you can fix this. There's multiple ways you can fix it. I could have done a surgery. I could have done a few different things. But when they told me I was out, I had two thoughts. First of all, I was like relieved because I think this is not the right format for me, to be honest. I'll probably end up signing up again because you guys know how I am, but I do think this is not the format that that works as well for me. But also the other thing I thought was, why would I want slip stitches to create ridges underneath my heel? I don't want that. So but it was mainly the relief. So I did not fix it. I just said, thanks, I'll take the L. I'm good. And I went over and signed up for Super Sock World Championship because why not? That is much more like Tour de Sock, which is the thing that got me in sock knitting competitions. I loved it. People who admin and mod these groups don't get paid for it. So I understand why, you know, it's maybe not forever. The way it is run, the way it works is just way more, I don't know what the word is. It just fits me way better. And like this competition, as much as I really do enjoy it, I feel like I lose interest after a while. I do love all the pairs of socks I made. Look at all these socks, you guys. From Sock Madness this year. Check that out. That's nuts. And I've already finished my first one for SWC, which is Super Sock World Championship. I qualified, I'm in. I'm on Team All Stars United if you want to follow along. Of course, you know I'm going to be back to show them all to you because it's kind of what I do here. I hope I'm back full time. I do still feel very busy and overwhelmed at this moment, and I appreciate those of you, like Brenda Wright said to me the other day. She was like, just do what you need to do. We'll be here. Don't worry about it. I so appreciate that. Thank you so much, Brenda. And Brenda also lost a pet this week, so I am also sorry about that. Oh, there's one more thing, Tour de Fleece. So I'm going to sign us up for a group. I checked it out because I couldn't remember. I haven't hosted or led a group or whatever you want to say for 2 or 3 years. I'm not exactly sure. We will have a few prizes within our group. Because Tour de Fleece is all about spinning, there will be at least one bat, at least one braid, maybe a gift certificate to the shop. You sign up with your team and there is a thread in the Ravelry group for your team so you can give updates and all that kind of stuff. I will be spinning live again every day. The plan is currently YouTube and TikTok. I'll be spinning live every day. I am not this year going to pick a specific time of day because last year I came at 2 o'clock every day and it was like really hard for me to make sure I was home the same time every single day. There was stuff I wanted to do and I wasn't always, like sometimes it's at 2, you know what I mean? So that felt stressful. So this year I'm literally just gonna surprise, log on, spin for 20 minutes. Should be interesting. I have 2 big spinning projects going right now, so I'm gonna start out working on those and I'm gonna cross my fingers that I get through one and get to start something new because I do feel kind of bored with them at this point, and that's one of the reasons I haven't been spinning as much, but that'll help me get going spinning. You set your own goal. You do not have to spin for yardage. You do not have, you can set a prep goal if you want. We're going to be very loose with the rules because they ask you to spin every day. I'm asking you to do whatever, you know, your goals are every day. So if your goal is to prep a fleece and you card one day, that's totally fine. That's part of the spinning process for some of us, not all of us. And that's cool too. So if you want to be part of the group, I will let you guys know when the group is open. When I checked in, there weren't really any like threads active. There was a little bit, but there wasn't like the real activity that happens once things really get rolling. And the way it works is we spin every day of the Tour de France except for the rest days, and then on the 2, I think it's 2 days that there are like challenge days in the tour. So they're doing, I think it's like really hilly or rocky, mountainy, whatever areas of the Tour de France. We try to challenge ourselves. If you want to be part of the group, I would love to have you. I'm sure we would all love to have you, and I will be letting you know when we have a thread set up on Ravelry. I will also set up a badge. It'll have our logo and team name, and you can add that to your avatar if you want during the tour. It is something I've done before. I did it the last time. Well, that was actually the first time that Fiber Love Diary had a team, and I can't wait. But it's gonna correspond with part of Super Sock World Championship, so that might be interesting as well because I have to knit those for speed. I'm gonna ask you guys just to be patient when a new pattern drops and I need to get through it and get back to real life. These challenges are something that I really enjoy, and challenging myself and my knitting skills, and I know you guys will be supportive of that. Also, I forgot to tell you, 2 of these pairs, I'm pretty sure it was Cabley Wabley and this one maybe. I was first of the, not just my team, I was first of all the teams, and I've never done that before. I was so excited. I think it's probably because the Finns didn't have a team maybe this year, I don't know. But it was so exciting, and I felt partly why that it was what made it okay for me to I guess give up after my sock wasn't right in round 5, because I felt like I have proven to myself that I can do it, if that makes sense. I don't know, I've proven it to myself. I was so happy, I was so proud of myself. I went straight to bed right after. But it felt really good to do that, and I love to challenge myself that way. I know you guys will support me. I will be back soon. My next video is a weaving video. It's almost finished filming, and I hope you guys are having a great summer if you're in my hemisphere, and if you're in the southern hemisphere, I hope you're having a great fall / winter is starting for you. I will see you guys on Sunday for a live. Actually, I might see you this weekend for 2 lives. I'll let you know. I appreciate you guys more than you can possibly imagine. It's honestly the truth. I have got to go weave in some ends. And I have to pressure wash the shed. That's on my goal list for today for outside. So I will see you soon. Thanks, I love you. Bye.